Well done.
Done. Okay, so here we have the DEF CON 17 Ninja Networks Party Badge. We made 500 of these. As you can see, it's electronic. It's a microprocessor controlled with 10 16-segment displays. It's actually 17 segments, so we're not using decimal points for anything. We've got 4 buttons on each one. Right over here is the Debug Port, and here's some extra I/Os, so if you find something to do with them, you can play with that. Take a look at the back real quick. SMT-wise, we have the processor right here. It's a microcontroller, Freescale HCSO8, and then we have 2 sets of shift registers. So we have 16 segments we want to control, we want to drive, so we can actually do it with 1 set, but at that point we'd only have 1 of these on at once if we wanted to have a unique thing. So actually the way we did it is we have 1 set of shift registers for the bottom row and 1 set for the top row. So let's turn it on a bit and see what we can do. So when you most of what it does is it just runs this little display routine where it kind of looks cool and scrolls through random letters to the point where it finally ends up in the message Ninja Party. And as you can see, it picked one already. It's the letter right there. And so let's go through the menu. To get to the main menu, you press the button 1 all the way on the left. So as I mentioned earlier, you can we have 2 sets of shift registers, which means we could drive the top row and the bottom row completely independently. Now we have control over each one because the anode of each display is connected to the processor, so we can turn one on or off arbitrarily. What that means is that we have essentially a high power and a low power mode. The low power mode, only one of these is on at any given time, and it's just kind of scrolling through one at a time, back and forth constantly. In high power mode, though, it's a little different. One of these, yet there's a pair on at any given point, so it goes like this. So to switch to high power mode, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it with the camera, but press button 1 to get in the main menu, and you press it again. Button 1 is kind of like enter space. Buttons 2 and 3 scroll through. Button 4 goes back. Let's go to high power mode. Press button 1. 3, 2, 1, 0. It's not that visible. Okay, so let's see what else is in this thing. There's a little simple test mode here that just lights up every segment to make sure they're all connected. Each badge has a unique ID, which gets you access to some Zero Bank goodies on their website somewhere. There's also a little Simon game built in where you can so it flashes numbers at you in 0, 1, and 2 representing the first 3 buttons. I'll play through the first level here. Okay, so it's telling me to press 0. Yay, and I won. Goes on from there, but it's pretty simple. So the other thing in here is the debugger, which lets you scroll through RAM. Up here at the top is the address. The debugger has a pointer basically, and you're at this address. There's this value right here. So this is FFFE is the address. This is FFFE, and this is FFFF right there. You can kind of scroll through memory 2 bytes at a time, backwards and forwards, or you can jump bigger steps. Right here, 1800 hex is kind of where a lot of is kind of like internal registers that aren't really used that common are kept. And E000 and up is the actual flash, most of which is code. But you know, you can look at it a byte at a time this way, and you can actually write to certain areas of memory. You can write to RAM. There's code to write to flash, but you have to write a register called fcdiv before that'll work. But there is code in there to do that. You can also jump to an arbitrary location. So if I pressed button 1 right now, it would jump to wherever this is, and it would start executing code there. So you can write code to RAM and then jump to it if you want to. And I guess the final big thing to show off is the disassembler built in. So if you don't want to just look at this in hex, you can actually use the built-in opcode decoder. And so right here, E02C, what's there is the opcode ORA with $X, and you just keep pressing button 1, it'll scroll through and back to the top, And you go to the next instruction, press button 3, jump E23F, LDHXH, or no, that's a star, yeah, or something. LDA, X, or A75, and you just kind of page through memory. Yeah, so that's it. That's about all there is to see.